Hey folks, this is Jimmy P, and I'm back. And today we'll be talking about how to light a fire efficiently and easily and smoothly. So that way we're not struggling. When I first started with my wood stove, I would struggle lighting a fire, and I used a lot of different methods to do that, and probably you might use some of these. I used to use these fire starters here, and then I used to get these, I think they call them fat sticks. These are a little bit longer, and I cut them into 3 to save some money. And what I realize about these things, though, they have chemicals in them, and they cost money. So I looked for a way that I could light my fire without having to use any of that, and just to make it a lot simpler, because even with those, sometimes if those aren't positioned perfectly, the fire sometimes wouldn't start, and it's really frustrating. So step number 1 has nothing to do about the wood stove. Step number 1 has to do, if you go back and look at some of the videos that I have in my earlier videos, just how to dry your wood correctly, how to stack it, how to dry it, how to cover it. There's 3 videos I have on that, and that's really the key. If you don't have dry wood, if you don't have wood that's been seasoned, then it's not gonna work. So that's step number 1, and don't just trust. I've gotten wood before, and they claimed that it was seasoned, and when I tried to light it, maybe it was 1 or 2 years old, but it was out in the rain, and it was covered in a big pile, and some of those pieces were on the bottom of the pile touching the dirt, and that wood just didn't dry out the way it should have. So I learned that I needed to dry out my wood correctly. So just make sure that your wood is dried. If you get it from someone and it's not stored indoors, or it's not covered under a covering, then chances are you need to continue drying that wood. It may dry faster because it's older wood, but chances are. And if you're drying your own wood, again, take a look at those videos on just how to best methods for that. And I have different methods on how to stack your wood, how to cover your wood, and just how to dry your wood. So once you have that, today what I have 3 pieces of wood. I usually start my fire in the morning with 3 pieces of wood. And the first thing I do, I'll take some of the coals from the evening before. That if only about 4, 5, maybe 6 hours has gone by, a lot of these embers will still be lit. So that helps, and I'll just move those in the middle. But in this case, probably a good, I'd say, 8, 9 hours have gone by. So this fire's out. I mean, it's completely out. There's no sparks. There's no embers. So this is. But what I still will do is take some of the coals and just put them in the middle, because those coals will heat up pretty quickly and create a nice fire underneath. So I'll put those in the middle here and kind of create a base. So that's the first thing. And then the next thing I'll do is take 2 pieces of wood. And I'll light. Now, most wood stoves have the air inlet coming from here in the middle, so you want to leave that open. That's the other thing. I'll always make sure that when I'm moving logs around, that this area here is clean. You don't want to have ashes or wood against that, because you want the air to flow in effortlessly. So when you're lighting your fire, you want to use that to your advantage. So the first thing I'll do is I'll take 1 piece of wood, and I'll kind of create a V effect, all right? So there'll be 1 piece in the corner there, and you can see it lines up with where the air comes in, and it almost creates like a funnel for the air to come right in where I want the fire to start. Then I'll take another piece and put it in the corner here. I might turn this around and put this end here like this. And now I got kind of a V effect. And I'm laying this piece on top of where the air comes in, so that's okay. It's on top of it. The air's going to fly right in, and the fire is going to light smoothly like that. The next thing I'll do is, instead of using these kind of fire starters here, or these other chemically treated pieces of wood that they do light and they stay lit maybe for 10 or 15 minutes, but again, it's just going to be coming from that one spot here. You're using chemicals, you're using money. So instead, I'll use newspaper. And I was gonna say, don't use this kind of newspaper, the one with all the colors, that's shiny and that's really like kind of silky almost. right? This doesn't burn that well. If it does and some comes in your house, you don't want to be breathing this. When you do burn it, you can see there's colors coming out of it and things. So it's just not healthy for you. It's not healthy for the atmosphere. So I'd say this stuff, recycle it. But what you want is we have a local paper called The Breeze, and after I'm done reading it, I'll just take this paper and I save it, and then I'll crumple it up, and I have this. The other thing I use sometimes is I'll use cardboard, just clean cardboard, not with tape on it or anything shiny. This is just kind of a regular cardboard. You can see it has nothing on it, like the laminate or any paints or anything. And sometimes I'll take this too, and I'll fold it like this, and I'll put that down. I'll put the newspaper in like that. Might put the cardboard on top like that, and just to create a nice area there where the wood could burn. Then I'll take this piece of wood here and I'll put it on top, almost like a roof. Okay, like this. There we go. And then we light it up, and let's see what happens. So I'll light the newspaper up. I put the newspaper on the bottom. And I have the door open here. In a minute I'll shut it, but leaving the door open does create more air coming in. And I'm having it open too so you can see what's going on. But usually what I'll do, I'll shut the door because I don't want smoke coming in. I mean, you can see it's got a really good draft, so the smoke's not coming in yet. But if I leave that door open, the smoke may start to come in. So what I will do in a minute here, I will close it, but just leave it open a crack. But you could just see how nicely that's catching. Now I saved this photo from a previous fire that just shows the water or the moisture content coming out of the side of the wood. And what you could see here is that a small section of it has some signs here that there is some moisture. However, this is normal, but when you start seeing a lot of sizzling and bubbling coming out and a good section of the edge of the wood covered with moisture, that's too much, and that means that wood is not aged appropriately. Now again, that wood is aged at least a year, and it's been covered in a woodshed that has a covering on it, and it's been stacked in rows so the air can flow through, and it's really dried it out appropriately. It probably has like a 8% water content, and again, I haven't put that video out yet on the water content. I did promise to put it out, and I will put it out. I have a tester that you could test how much water content is in the wood. But what you can see here is that the fire just catches very nicely because of the base, right? Because of the newspaper. And I don't always put cardboard because I don't always have cardboard, but just with the newspaper it works fine. If you do put the cardboard though, it makes it even easier. Sometimes I might have to go back twice and put another piece of newspaper in there. The cardboard just lasts longer. So you could just see how nicely that fire is burning. And then the other thing that's really important is when you first start out, put your air inlet into high. I just put it on high, so that way when I do shut the door, the air, sometimes actually that helps even more because now the air is going right into that triangle, shooting right in now because I put it on high. So once you kind of get it lit a little bit, now the air is gonna come right in. It's gonna jet in there in that area where the fire is the strongest, and you could just see the fire now starting to come out of different areas there. Because now the air before the air was coming in from all places. Now it's concentrated right into that triangle where I kind of created a nice, almost protective area, and you could just see now that that the fire is really appreciating that oxygen coming in and the new air coming in, and that fire is lit. I mean, that fire is just going to get stronger and stronger. And as I place new pieces of wood in there. I don't need to create the triangle anymore. That's just to light it in the beginning. When I place, I usually put two pieces in at a time and just try to crisscross them to continue allowing air movement to happen between the wood. So that's how I light my wood stove, and do it like that every day. And as you can see, it takes about literally maybe 30 to 45 seconds to light the stove. Just have 3 pieces of wood. Some newspaper. If you want, you could put some cardboard in there. Again, make sure it's clean cardboard, clean newspaper, and make sure your air inlet is clear. You light it up, and you got a beautiful fire in 30 seconds without any extra cost, any extra chemicals, And this is Jimmy P signing out until the next time. And if you like this video, hey, definitely please would love to have you like it. Any comments you have, and we're looking for more subscribers too. Have a great day.